What's going on, guys? Good evening. Welcome in. We'll get started soon. Settle in. I don't know what echo you're talking about, but uh, let's see if I can get this sorted. Can you guys? How is it now? Is it good? Okay, perfect. Welcome in, guys. Hit the like button if you guys are just joining in. Let's get the stream likes up, and we'll see what we traded today, and then we'll go over some charts for tomorrow, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. See me in Gold Coast, Chicago. Hey, fellow Chicago. What's up, man? Next time say hi. It's been a minute since I went to Gold Coast, though. We'll get started in a minute, guys. If you guys are just joining, welcome in. Settle. Get some coffee if you need, and we'll get started. Yeah, smash that like button, guys. If you guys are just joining, let's get the likes up. Let's get the stream popping, and we'll get started soon. All right, it's 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome in, guys. It's another episode of Stock Tuesdays. I know it's a Wednesday. I had to move yesterday's session to today, but the thing is, we're having it right now. Now, today we took a couple of trades. Did we take a couple of trades? Actually, we just took one trade. I took a couple of trades, and so I'll go over those trades, and we will talk about the idea and what played out, how the market played out today. It was honestly a very choppy session. We managed to make it look easy, but it wasn't. It was a very choppy session. But the way charts are setting up, tomorrow could be a even better session. So let's see if we can prepare for that and then end the week strongly. So first up, I know I have the Google chart here, but I will show Nvidia. Now, Nvidia, you guys know it's been pretty strong, and but these last few weeks, right? Ever since this gap don't happen, it's been just on a steady grind up. Now, I personally, if you guys know my bias on Nvidia, I don't really like to long this in these areas. I wanna looking for short setups. There were two short setups that I was watching. One was Apple, a liquidity grab of that 205 area, and then Nvidia, the same thing, a failure of that 142. Now 142, the reason that level was important was because this was the 4 hour high here, the 4 hour high yesterday, and then pre-market we gapped up above that level, right? And then we kind of failed at the open. Now you may ask me, Andra, how did you know that we were not just going to push? Uh, the tape gave me the confirmation for that, and the general directional bias today was to the downside. Now at the open, first 5 minute, I did not take any trades. This candle, the market opened right above 142. Then we came back down here and then closed kind of around 141.50. Second candle, again, we had a pop above and nothing happened. Third candle, again, pop above and close under 142. So, I know you guys don't watch the tape, but for those of you that do, every time we crossed 142, there were big sellers coming in, pushing prices down. Now, what you want to see in these kinds of situations is because a seller is there above 142, that doesn't mean it can stay down, right? Someone could be selling 1 minute and the next minute that seller could disappear, right? So we always need to be careful when it comes to tape reads like that. And so the longer time passed, 15 minutes have passed, and then we had This candle again, once it failed, I got my entry. I think I got the entry in the third candle here, third 5 minute candle. Now the fourth candle did open up. Now this time around, what I wanted to see was I wanted to make sure that 142 did not even breach. Right, the past two candles, 142 sellers were hitting it hard, but this time around, we had to hold it under 142. Okay, to actually show that there were selling pressure. Now, and that they did manage to do that. The moment we started seeing a little wick of this candle, I said I'm going to get filled and I'm going to have a stop right above 142. All right. Now, risk for us in this trade, because it's at the open, is probably like 5 or 6%. But you guys can see this. This is a literally a 30-cent risk here. Okay. Now, once this candle closed weak, the next candle we had a follow up, and then we broke down below 141. Because of our entry is right here, we did not chase lows. We were able to stay in our position, and we were able to catch the flush of 141, the flush of 140, and this is when SPY at that same point was testing that 585 level liquidity area. So when that happened, Nvidia also did a reclaim, and we closed our position. So we were in this trade for literally 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 25 odd minutes, and this was 60% plus return. Now on an ideal day, SPY would have lost that 585, and we would have just ATM'd this the whole way down to 139. You guys can see I have downside levels here, 139, 137, and then 135. Now if we went to 139, this would have been a 100% trade. If we went to 137, this would have been a 200% trade, and 135, it would have been 200, 250, 300% trade, right? So our risk was like 5%. Unfortunately, they held at 140, so we did the right thing and just trailed out. And then after that, they actually gave the retest here. You guys can see this 140, 150. They had a little pullback down here, but then they kept holding, and eventually end of the day, they squeezed Nvidia. You guys can see it's still closed under 142, but it's still under play. So for tomorrow, you guys, if you guys know already, so we have a demand area here, right? So this 140, 141.5. Now tomorrow, I'm still watching the same setup. I want Nvidia under this level. If it does, I will use this as my supply and buy puts off of this level as resistance. Okay, so this is what I want. I can kind of actually extend this also. You guys can see this, right? So this is the level I want. I want candle closures under 140.50, 140, and I can go short. Does that make sense, guys? Put a yes if you guys follow what I'm saying. And if you guys are just joining, smash the like button, subscribe button, help me out, help the stream, boost the stream, and I'll continue. This makes sense, right? So basically, we fell into demand because SPY wicked. We were able to hold. This was the break. This was the break and bounce, and this was the retest, and then we kind of went. For upside plays, honestly, I'm not going to. If Nvidia, if market is an upside play kind of day, I'm not going to trade Nvidia. I'll probably trade something else. But this is kind of the upside also. I mean, if you are bullish on Nvidia, if entire market rallies, Nvidia will rally also. But I'm not going to participate in the upside move on Nvidia because how limited it is. It always gets overcrowded, and it was always barring yesterday. Nvidia was not moving yesterday. If you nailed it at the open right here, you guys can see this level 139, right? You could have made a very good return here on this trade. But not a lot of people were watching Nvidia at the open yesterday, and neither was I. I didn't take this. So this was the only day where it was trade worthy. Every day else it was kind of sucky. All right. The next chart I will show you guys is Apple. I know I told you guys this is a trade that I was watching, and it was a short going to be a big reversal. So morning it clearly fooled a lot of bulls. They gave you this an indecisive candle, opening candle, and then a candle followed by a very strong candle here. All right, and then they again did a little bull flag, and then they continued right about 205, which is the level here, and they popped all the way here. Now I have a level here at 205.80, and to be honest, I was in this trade as well. The moment I saw this close under here, I knew this was going to retrace back. But a more technical entry would have been a close under 205. The moment we lost 205, you could have just entered right here and defined risk, 50-cent risk. You could have shot at this trade here, right? So this is another setup you could have taken. Honestly, once the market started selling a little bit, Apple actually started deviating. You can see there's a little bear flag here. Even though I don't trade patterns, you can clearly see this here. Right? Big move down, bear flag, and then breakdown again. And then another set of consolidation, and end of day, we broke low of day and broke pre-market low. So tomorrow, again, I will be watching. This is probably my main watch tomorrow. Um, so as long as no one else is watching it, I will take this trade. So 201 is the key level I had on my watch for a breakdown. So tomorrow I want to see it lose 200. I want to see it lose 200 level pre-market ideally, and then I want to see a reclaim of 200, but I'll take it a shot at this 201. So if 201 rejects, I'll take a shot there, and then I'm going to hope that the 200 will also break down and kind of become an exit liquidity move down. So you guys can, if I go to the 10-15 minute chart here, right, you guys can clearly see this, right? The bullish structure that was here is no longer intact. Okay, this bullish structure that was here is no longer intact. We are starting a new bearish structure. All right, so this is a new bearish structure here that's starting. So tomorrow we want to see this breakdown of 200 and then maybe a retest of 201, something like that. So that's something I'm watching. Again, I'm just drawing trend lines so that you guys can see these things. I do not trade like that, but I'm just like kind of drawing to show you guys how the trend has flipped. Okay, so this was the false breakout. Everyone thought it was bullish, and the tape was clearly weak on this name, and we just flipped the entire script here and created exit liquidity for shots. So that's another setup that I'm watching for tomorrow. If you guys are just joining in, hit the like button, guys. There's 100 of you. I want to see at least 100 plus likes on this stream. It'll help me with the algo. So the next chart I want to show you guys is oh, Tesla. Where do I even go with this? I had, unfortunately, most of my size was in Nvidia, so I did not have a lot of. So my idea was this 248 level, right? So this 248 level, I wanted to build a position into this level. This was my range here. So the moment market opened, I just got 15 contracts on Tesla, and I just held, and this thing just sold. The moment we broke this 336, I actually full sold my position. Now, I personally thought that when SPY was going to bounce, Tesla would bounce also with it, but it didn't. Instead, it dropped from 336 all the way to 326, another 10 more dollars. I did not expect this, and unfortunately, I sold too quickly, and I didn't have full size, but it was some good cash flow for me on this particular trade. This was the trade of the day. This would have been the trade of the day. Either you could have taken it under this 339, which was on my watch list. This is the level here. You guys can see this 338. This is the level I have here. So the moment we flush this, we should have just shorted this here. Look at the tick here. We could have started this, and this was a big move down. Yeah. Anyway, so what's the point of talking about a trade that we didn't do? So tomorrow, if market held 585 after hours, I think we're selling, but this is picking up a lot of momentum here. Big move down, consolidation, and then big move down. All right. So if we do a little measurement game here, so this was a 10% move. Okay. This is kind of how I'd like to measure. So this is another 10% move. So around 319, 318, we can expect a bounce area. So this is if I were to draw a level here, right? So you can kind of see, right? So this is the demand area here. So the moment Tesla flushes this area, assuming market has some kind of bounce, there could be a relief bounce in this area. But the biggest problem is these are all rally areas, not consolidation areas. So I'd rather take Tesla short than long. Okay, so this is just like Nvidia for me. I would not long Tesla, but I would short it on a reject or something like that. It all depends on where we open tomorrow. So I'll let you guys know based on pre-market action and how we perform. We are going to be able to trade this one as well. All right. Let's see what else. you don't monitor NQ ES throughout the day. No, ES sometimes I do, NQ I don't. I mean, it's just too much. I mean, this is like the thing is like SPY is the traded instrument. SPY is one most people. This is where shares are being bought. Okay, so because I watch the tape, I like to watch the tape on SPY because that gives me an edge on gauging buyers and sellers. If I watch futures instrument and if I watch like SPX and all of that, I'm not going to be able to get it as much as how it would help me in SPY. Now look at this. This is classic here. This is where like this that's the thing. Like the people yesterday, everyone's like, oh wow, this is going to be like the big move up, big move up. All of this is just exit liquidity, right? You guys are gonna see it, right? So when we're dropping, when the drop's gonna happen, we're gonna easily just drop back down here to the 200 MA, right? They are propping up all of this moves here, um, getting all the bulls lured in these areas. But when we sell, right, market's flipping on the 4 hour, right? Look at this, right? It's going to be nasty, right? Now the only bull case scenario for us is if we can get above 598.50, right? So right now we are looking like it's looking very bad. It's looking weak. So we had 2 4 hour candle red closures, and then tomorrow if we lose this, what was that area? 594, right? 594 was the yesterday's big reversal, right? So we lose this. This is going to get steep quickly. 594, 593 was demand from previous day. So the moment that loses everything, this candle that you see here, right? This will be inverted. The moment we invert this candle, next support is around here, right? 588, 586. Now this is what happened here. Look at this, right? Now the only uh, consolation for bulls is many names are still very strong and in uptrending cases, right? So if market um, can find a semblance of strength, when I say market, I'm talking about like names like Apple, Meta, Amazon, Nvidia, Microsoft, they all start breaking out. So if Apple can reclaim 205, if Microsoft can reclaim 465, Nvidia can reclaim 145, right? 143, 144, right? SPY can easily squeeze higher. But the problem is if these names all, for example, Apple looks like it's very close to support, Nvidia could flip tomorrow. Again, if it gets to that 140, just $2 away, uh, market could flip. So we're like in a position where a big reversal is going to happen. So the moment that happens, that will be your easy opportunity to make money. So the last few days have been difficult, but we've made it work. But the big opportunity is coming soon. So if you think 60% on Nvidia is a good trade, you could easily make 100% trades when the next big break happens. So that opportunity is coming. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or if it's going to be Friday, but we'll see when it happens. We'll catch it. All right, let's look at Microsoft now. You can see a few people asking. Microsoft is honestly kind of a difficult chart. The only bias I had today was that 462. If you guys remember, I shot at that 462 yesterday for like 10-15%. Today we again held at 463 and popping up. So Microsoft is one of those names you just keep buying the dip on the trend. Every time you feel like there's going to be a trend loss, buy the dip because they just save it and then they just rise above. Right? If you guys remember that 456, the last time I did this YouTube video, right? Go back last Tuesday. I said every time we drop under that 456 by the dip, you will see a market rally. Look at this 456 level, right? How many times we've gapped up? So once, two, three, four. This was a pre-market action. So this is four, right? And then every time we popped here, we are making a big move. Okay, and then here is the retest again. 4 hour trend saved, 4 hour trend saved, right? So this still needs an explosive move up. Until that happens, we can't trade. So today I was kind of watching this 465 area. Today it didn't happen. Maybe if market's strong tomorrow, we can trade the 465. But we'll have to wait and see. So the next level 4 hour trend loss area is 462. So that's a level you guys remember from yesterday. So 462 loses, trend flips. 462 holds, trend is strong. Okay. Let's look at some more questions here. Tesla, we went over. SPY, we've done. Microsoft, we done. Meta, let's look at Meta again. Wow, this is a crazy move. Yesterday 665. Who remembers that on the dot, right? 665. They held today. They held the same base. 4-hour trend loss. $3 risk here if you wanted along that, and one of the strongest names was super strong, right? So tomorrow, you guys can already see the bounce area. I've plotted it. Like this 471, 472 is the bounce area. So market is a little strong, and we come here. This is the 4-hour trend loss area also. So you could take a bounce around this 471, 473 area. And Another important name, Netflix. I don't know if you guys noticed. I tried logging Netflix 1200, right? The 1200 reclaim happened little later in the day on Friday, and then ever since this has been on a tear. Same kind of chart as Meta. Every time we try to approach a 4-hour, the 1080 again was tested. 1082 on Friday, popped close strong, and then on a small flag again, pop again, flag, pop again, flag, pop again. So this looking juicy for the weekend, for Friday as well. So tomorrow, if we can have a little push day, Friday bounce on Netflix looks good for now. So we'll see how it plays out. But no, tomorrow I won't trade it, but Friday I might most likely trade it. So this is the most recent high. This is the 4-hour candle setup. Um, let's look at some more charts. SPX. I mean, same thing, man. I just went over SPY, right? It's we're approaching that 6,000. So the 6,000 is 598.50. That's the level that I wanted today. So we kind of were a 10-point short and closing. So tomorrow we can keep an eye on this. So 6,000, if it clears, you can see the last time we cleared 6,000, we had a big pop to 100-point pop here. And then last time here is a 50-point pop. So this is a big level. So if it's, like they were talking about squeezes yesterday, right? There is no squeeze until we break 6,000 on SPX. Okay, the squeeze zone happens here, right? This area where there is no squeeze, right? There is no squeeze. This is chop. Okay, this is why the SPY was up 0.5% yesterday, right? And that's an excel. So if market wants to really squeeze, we still haven't seen that. A big squeeze can happen if we can clear this SPX 6,000. That's that 598.50 on SPY. 598.50 breaks. Forget your ass. You are not gonna reject 600 and whatnot. It's gonna like just rip through. And We are going to see at least a 4 or 5, $6 pop from there, and it's going to squeeze a lot of people out. Um, we'll see. Again, we have an indecisive action today, so we don't really uh, have any directional idea on how the market will open tomorrow. Barring no bad news, we are just going to open flat. If there is bad news, we are going to lose this 4-hour structure pre-market, and then everything's going to be a little difficult to trade. PLTR, fan favorite. Oh wow, had a trend loss today. I didn't know what happened. So like, it looks like they broke that 130, and then did it happen pre-market or during the day? Oh, it happened pre-market. Yeah, pre-market trend loss 130, and then kind of just had a retest of this 130 area, and then faded into close. So tomorrow, as it stands, I like a short setup. But if it can reclaim 131, this 4-hour candle here, right? And I mean, actually this level here, 130, 170, it could squeeze some people also, because I don't know how many people shorted this or if it's just an algo short pre-market, but this does not. This is a not red zone until it picks a direction. It either needs to break above this highs or it needs to lose that 127 on the hourly chart. So you guys can see this, right? This is where we wicked, right? So we need to lose 128, 127.50. This is the level I have here. So if we lose this, maybe this kind of looks like Nvidia chart, to be honest, right? It dropped and then wicked above and then popped and then faded. So tomorrow, if we lose 127.50, we could just kind of view this and then come back down here. The next level of support is around 122. If we lose this 122, then there's that big level of 120. And then don't chase this guy. This is looks this chart like for if you're doing swings, it looks like trend is pretty mature here. This rally started here, right? It started here. So if you draw a little trend line on this, the end of the move here, right? This is what's happening. This is so we already broke trend line here, and then we kind of popped. So if I extend this a little bit more, right? So this is when it becomes overextended. So around this area, this is going to be huge sellers. Once they flip it, maybe it'll pop one more time, and then once they do it, they will flip it. It's not going to keep going higher. I'm like 75% sure. Of course, there's that possibility of squeezes, but I think the squeeze is all done for the most part. So be careful. I would not. So this is where how I think. I would not want. There are certain charts I like longing. There are certain charts I like shorting. This is one of those charts I would love shorting because most of retail is always bullish. So when flip happens, it's going to be nasty, right? Same thing. The reason for Nvidia, why I'm short biased. Everyone I know is simply just bullish on it, and it's an area where you can people you get obvious long setups and obvious long setups just like how Apple was today, right? When they have like obvious long setups, it's easy for me to take the other side and make easy money. uh, a quick cheat code for you: if you guys want to hit high percentage trades, right, big wins, you got to be on not so obvious trades, right? I'm sure not a lot of people would have taken Nvidia today short, right? But that's the trade that did 60% plus, right? So if you like, for example, if you did something else, you wouldn't have made as much, right? Like if you did, I don't know, Apple was 200% at the highs. Contracts were at 150. It flipped 200%. So if you want higher percentage returns, you gotta not do obvious retailer setups. If you do retailer setup, you'll get retailers 10% return, 15% return, right? That's I can't trade like that. So I don't like setups like that, and that's a little cheat code for you guys. So PLTR kind of known because it's bullish. Most people are bullish. Always be in the lookout for a bearish setup on this. I know it's a little counterintuitive, but it's clearly failing, right? So when a chart is saying failure, you don't have to fight it. If you guys are just joining, hit the like button, guys. I want to see a lot of likes. Hope you guys hit the button and help me out. Google, okay. I was actually watching that. Thank you for bringing that up. That's the chart I had when I started the stream. Google had a trend loss on the 4-hour chart this last Friday, and then we've been kinda just in this pedal here. Okay, so this 165 level was the previous breakout area here, right here, and then we kind of retested that over here a few days ago, Tuesday, and then today we are trying to make a reclaim of the 4-hour trend line here. Okay, so this particular chart, ideally you want to see a break above 170 and then just take it long. But alternatively, what you can do is draw a level here at 166. Okay, so if we do break under 166 and do a quick reclaim, we could this could potentially be a lower high forming here. Okay, so this is now again not one of my favorite charts, but I was just like kind of looking at it. This is one of those names that's kind of getting beaten down because of the chat GPT things. So if we need a flush, when we need a reclaim of this 166, and then this move happens. Okay, now alternatively, this can also happen. All right, if this happens, then we can take it this way and then go this way. Okay, so this is also possible. Maybe it depends on how we approach the market and how the more direction the market trades. For short setups, we need to lose 165. Okay, that's a Google chart. AMD. Okay, you guys are making me look AMD. AMD. I don't even know what it's doing right now. I haven't seen AMD in a while. Oh, not a bad chart actually. Not a bad chart at all. So this actually doesn't look that bad. So AMD trend line here. Um, Again, the big breakout levels approaching 120. So 120 breaks. That's the big breakout. 120 breaks. Next level is 122, and then if we can clear this, right, we have a little zone here, and after that it's a big trend flip. 130 is the big trend area. Here I'll just draw a few more levels here. There. Oh. All right. So these are the levels. Yeah. So 120, 122, close to this 125, 126, and then we have 130. That's AMD there. For short setups, trend flip, you can see this candle low here. What is this? 116. So 116 is today's low of the day, I believe, right? So 116 loses, you can go short on this. This is the trend loss. Okay. Now I really like this because today they held it. So tomorrow, if they do flip it, this can capitulate and drop a few dollars. Okay. Again, bidirectional setup. You could go upside or downside for AMD. CrowdStrike. It's an odd name. I haven't tried it in a while. Yeah, same thing as Google. Big failure here. Looks like they had earnings yesterday. They had a reject here at the open around 470-ish area, and trading at 460 right now. This is too wide of a range for you to mess around, but the levels are clear here. All right. The only thing you need to look for is liquidity grabs on this name. So be careful. So if you're trading breakdowns, don't get caught in a sweep. Contracts on CrowdStrike for day trading are not going to be that forgiving. All right. These are the levels here. So ideally, you want to see this loose above below this level here. What is this level? 455. It's not that far away. If it does, we have maybe a whole number at 450 and then 446. Are you gonna trade AVGO soon? I missed the train, man. Honestly, AVGO, like, it was at 130, right? It was at 130. Like, this is like such a clean trend. Honestly, this is one of those names I should have just longed for the small account challenge, and I should have just been done with it. This is it, right? So basically, we saw 50% drop here. Should have just longed it right here and then hope that the trade war, whatever tariff thing would resolve. Because, like, what is this? This is insane, right? Now it's a massive squeeze. Every day, green day. We are approaching this most recent high here, and then after that it's like 300. So look at this, crazy, right? This is the weekly chart. This is like a crazy opportunity to buy it here, and this was very close to the 200 EMA, and we didn't, and then now it's back up. See how quickly it came back up, right? That's a crazy opportunity. I missed it. Now can't chase it. That's why I'm not chasing it. It's just like, dude, like, it's just pointless. But there's no reason to trade AVGO. The thing is, like, markets so wishy-washy right now. AVGO on a day, look at how it traded today. Big open. If you chase longs here, became exit liquidity, right? This is the kind of games that they'll play. Spreads are wide. You should have caught it a little early when the trend was still strong. Now it's kind of maturing, right? This is just an all-time high break, just like Microsoft. It's hard to trade. Okay, they have earnings tomorrow. Is that what it is? Yes. Okay. Next chart. Why don't you trade MU anymore? It's just too small of a name. MU same chart as AVGO. It's the boat. Had, I think it dropped to like 80 or something, right? 80 or 70. Oh wow, it dropped to 60. So it's basically up 40-50% here. Wow, it's a crazy move. Actually, more than that. Yeah, it's 75% move. How do you find breakout levels for squeeze? A level that keeps, getting tested over and over, and a lot of short built up. That's when you know. So right now, market squeeze area is around that 598.50, and that's because most people would have been trying to short the come up, and but they're still holding on because there's a bigger level above. If market gets one of those bigger days, right? We still look at SPY, for example, right? We're not $2-3 ranges. Yesterday was 0.5%, and supposedly that was, like a big move, right? From 590, I think 591.80 was low of the day. 593 is when I shorted, and then 591.80 we took profit, and that 592 reclaimed. And then 595 is when bigger move started happening, and that became our pivot for the day yesterday. That's why I kept saying that 595 is a big level, but then that 595 we We kept pushing 597 and then quick fall down to 595. That cat bounce off of 595. Today again 597, 598 was that ES level, ES 6000 level, close to it. We rejected that 598 and dropped. 598.50 is SPX 6000. So we've already tapped 595, 593, 597, 598. The only untapped zone is 598.50. Okay. So tomorrow we have another failure of 598.50. We could very easily just lose the whole 597, 596, 595. This is a $3 drop and then click a down move. But if we take above 598.50, squeeze in cards, right? This is why I said it all depends on what these big guys do tomorrow, right? You guys see Google is setting up for a reversal, right? Nvidia held 140, reversed, took 142 again. Microsoft still holding zones, could break out 465 tomorrow. Apple 203 close, okay? So 205 reclaims, it could go reverse again. Meta, same thing, right? Big mover. 700 could break 700 this week, okay? So a lot of these names really can break out to the upside, and if it does, 100% SPY is going to break and there's going to be a squeeze. But if failures happen and a lot of these names lure people in and then they pull the plug, like how they did Tesla today, how they did Apple today, we could see downside. Okay, so don't have biases. I mean, I usually go in with an empty, like a kind of like a clean mind, and then let the market tell me what it wants to do. So today, that's kind of what I wanted to trade Tesla. I wanted to trade Apple chart and Nvidia. The only entry confirmation I got at the open was Nvidia. That's why I took it first. But then Apple I had a little later. Once the 205 failed, this was actually a good one too. But yeah, it has to go now. Yeah, if it's going to go, it has to go now. Otherwise, it's not going to go. So that move's coming. It's either tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to see upside or downside break for sure. It's good. Tomorrow is going to be a much more. Hopefully, be no big gap downs or gap ups pre-market. As long as that doesn't happen, we're going to get a good move. GE. Okay, let me look at GE. Damn, that's a nice shot, man. You are long. I'm waiting for a pullback for a long swing. It's not a bad idea. Yeah. Still hasn't lost trend, so I would not long here. Maybe you wait for this area here, the 50 EMA. This you may, if you're going to get a dead cat, you'll probably get it around here. This is an area if you want to swing. Okay, so once you get it here, wait for the level to strong candle to form on the 4 hour, and then enter the rest there. It's kind of a nice area. Wow, dude! Like wow. This, oh my god, look at this chart. What the hell? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy looking chart. LLY, okay. Oh, 4 hour trend is flipping. It's bullish. So it's just doing a big breakout here. This is something you can swing for sure. Just have this as your stop. Maybe if you're a little smart, what you do is you wait for this is curling, right? Wait for a little sell, okay, and then you trade along it. Okay, hope maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Let's do a little fib here. All right. So this is the area. So this is the kind of the area where you wanna see hold. So if you get a pullback, this is what I'll do. Right. If you get a pullback around this area, this is kind of where the 4 hour candle form is, where the golden pocket is, right? So wait for a little pullback in this area. Wait for candle to close strong and then enter the trade, because this is a good risk reward. So right now we're kind of approaching the 200 MA. I would not buy it, but if it does pull back, this is the area you want to see form a swing low. Remember, stocks don't go straight up. Okay, so we had this move here. You want to see something like this happen, and then you want to see this happen. All right, don't go trying to buy the top. You'll become exit liquidity. All right, wait for a pullback. When red candles happen, that's when you should buy. All right, so this is where you buy. All right, if you're shorting, wait for a short at red candles, short at the highs. Okay. Do SRBX. I think you mean Starbucks. Starbucks. Oh yeah, base forming here. You can see long consolidation. happening. Trend is slowly flipping here on Starbucks. Uh, yeah, I mean, as long as the trend is just flipping here. So if you're just trying to buy this, just use this 4 hour cloud as your stop for now. There you can see this, the breakout's just happening here. So assuming market is still strong, this could go. If market flips red, this will also, flip. So just have stops right around there and then keep going. UPS. Okay, let's look at UPS. Pretty same chart. Honestly, these charts have probably all look like a lot of good value. Big sell-offs. Since high, what 150 was the high? It's a huge sell thing. I don't even have levels charted here. You can see how much it sold, right? Like this crazy sells. Yeah, this is a lot of value. Just buy here, man. I don't even think you need technicals for this. This is just like just buy. It's gonna bounce soon. UPS is not gonna go anywhere, right? It's just honestly, I'll probably add some too. Wow, look at this. This is a big one, right? So it's, if UPS manages to go back to high, this is 100% right for you. Wow, not even 100%, 155%. Okay, so at the very least, you'll get a little bounce. The only problem is momentum will take a while to recover, so you can't time it. So buy time. Equity is probably safer for you. Buy time and then just keep buying. Hood. All right. I saw a lot of hoods, so let me just look at hood. Oh wow. Yeah, it's a nice looking chart. Honestly, today is probably the one of the weaker red candle closes here, so that's a bearish sign. But still, overall trend is intact. So you can kind of see this false breakout happening here, right? So as long as um, structure holds, you're good. But momentum is dying. Okay, momentum is dying. Do not buy here. This is one of the charts I would not want to long in this area. Like no matter how good of a setup it is, ATR is very extended. Probably gonna have like maybe one more big day and then like rug everyone. So be careful. This particular name. As long as trend is intact, just keep moving trailing stops if you're on long term, and then don't buy into weakness until you get like a nice correction. Uh, Lift. Hood gets added to 500 Friday possibly. Yeah, it could be, but those are usually like the sell the news events, so be careful. If there is a rumor already circulating around, it's all right. This is where the breakout kind of started. Yeah, we're kind of approaching the golden area. So this is the area. Yeah, you can kind of see by the 200 MA. If you want a long lift, this is the area we want a long. But knowing my from experience, lift is not one name. Like I would like to long into weakness. I like to trade lift when momentum is strong. So just you think it would bounce here, but it would just go back down here. That's kind of how every time it rallies. Look at this, right? I know this because I remember this chart, right? Big move up. You think it would just bounce? It didn't. It just came back down and then created a downtrend. Actually, I take that back. Do not long lift, right? So lift is one of those names where every pop always gets sold into. Pop, full sell. Pop, full sell. Pop, full sell. More likely. Alright, so don't buy this. Buy into strength. So if you want to take lift, maybe take it off of 1650 long like that. If you're day trading it. If you're long, I mean then just hold. Have trail stops. Um CVS. You don't like CVS. Okay. Yeah, I don't like CVS. What is this? What kind of chart is this? Bullshit. Yeah, don't trade this. I mean, this is the demand area. You guys can see I have a chart level plotted. I don't even know when I'm plotting all this stuff. I just have a level here. Looks like, yeah, this is CVS is one of those names that trades in boxes, right? Look at this. I'll draw a box here. I'll draw a box here. I'll draw a box here. It just goes from one zone to the other, right? So right now it kind of traded in this zone and then fell back down, came back, retested, reclaimed. So if it clears this, it could go here. Clears this, it could go here. So it's one of those names. You can't day trade this. You cannot day trade this. It's a shit name. UNH. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. I have no thoughts on this particular name. I have levels here, but the thing is, my personal opinion, um, the stock wouldn't have sold this much if there there isn't something even more, like even more bad news is going to come out soon. The first bounce on these kinds of news events, right, is always fake. It's always like, like 9 out of 10 times always going to be like not the final low, right? So in these kinds of situations, if you made good money here, take profit. This is kind of like in a no trade zone. What's happening here is they're holding these levels, and if they drop another news, market drops another news, this could easily get back down, right? Once they lose this current low, everyone that's longing, look at this volume. This stock does not trade this much volume. Everyone thinks this is a good buying opportunity. It could be. It could be. That's why you have trail stops, right? But if you're entering the market here, everyone's stop's going to be super tight. Okay, so let's say you bought 285. Okay, 280 something, somewhere around this area, right? So right now it's at 300. The moment it breaks 285, everyone that bought 285 they're going to be like trailing out. Oh man, I'm out, because everyone that bought here, they have a good average. They're not going to chase, and at the same time they're not going to keep holding and hoping it'll, like, like bag hold this. So every temporary buyer could easily sell if levels start failing. Okay, this 285, 286, I remember this level, right? From the 4 hour time frame, this is here. So if this loses, we could drop here, and then if we could drop here, every buyer here could be a temporary buyer, and they could immediately stop out. Okay, so be careful. I don't know what news is going to happen, but on the flip side, if they can reclaim this high here, we could maybe go push into this 200 MA here. All right. So if you're long already, have trail stops. If you're trying to enter this again, you can enter, but again have trail stops, because we don't know what the actual low is going to be, because it's a news driven. I mean, this is not a pure technical sell, it's a news driven sell. Okay, news trumps technical. All right, news, your technical, your candles, my lines on the chart don't mean anything, because news will always take priority. PayPal. All right. Oh wow, this is a nice chart. I like this chart. I like this chart a lot. So you can kind of see this is what I was talking about before. Big move up, right? So we have a big move up here, and then we have a trend loss, and then a retest of the trend line, drop again. So normally, if this thing was going to sell, it would have broken this low here and then kind of just flushed, but instead it just came back to the highs here. Okay, so this is could be a classic breakout trade for you. What is this, 74? So the last time we kind of cleared this area, you can kind of see 74, we popped all the way here, 78. So there's a $4 range here. All right, so this is a, if can clear 74, you could see maybe if I extend this trend line a little bit here, right? Let's see, 78. Okay, so kind of imagine this. What you also want to see is kind of form a new trend here. Okay, so this starts to create like a new trend line here. So you want to see a big move up like this. Oh, okay, you want to see that happen. All right. I wouldn't day trading. There's plenty of other names, so I wouldn't personally day trade this. But if you really like this name and you know how to trade it, you can. IWM. Okay. IWM, same chart as SPY. To be honest, big breakout levels coming in. IWM. I haven't charted this in a while. Kind of tell. Let me just quickly draw some levels here. All right. This looks decent. But again, overall market, I don't really like longing this chart, to be honest. It looks again like SPY until there's a squeeze potential that happens here. This could very well easy, and in fact, as early as tomorrow, we could easily get rugged on this. So you guys can kind of see it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can clear this highs, just like SPY, squeeze potential 210, strong close about 210. But this trend flip looks likely here. If it does flip, flips this 4-hour candle here that you see here, this could drop back to here and then here and then here. If it loses this 200 again the next time, this could be a downside play. This looks bearish to me in my eyes. So we'll see. And as long as this squeeze doesn't happen on SPY and the NQ and this one, we are looking downside, but otherwise upside. Big. The thing is, if SPY clears, there's going to be a big squeeze. That squeeze hasn't happened yet. It's going to be a big squeeze. If you guys just joining in, hit the like button, guys. I have 155 of you here. Should be a lot of you guys should support. Thank you. I'll do 2 more questions and then we can kind of call it. Any other general questions, guys? We did a lot of charts. Any other questions you guys have? Meta, I did Meta. Meta looks very strong. The strongest name. 665 bounce yesterday. Worked on the dot. Today we kind of tested the same 4-hour structure. So tomorrow, if we do see a big gap up, right? You can take it 2 ways. Either we test the same 4-hour structure area, this 471, 472. If we hold it, we're long. If we lose it, we're short. Okay, depends on overall direction, but that's kind of what we want to see. Any other general questions, guys? Let's look at the chat here. What is the tape? Tape is something. Tape is reading times and sales, and then conjunction with level 2. Sneaker dad DW. I'm actually going to start accepting students for a mentorship, guys. If you guys are interested, you can sign up and join the wait list for this summer. Again, no pressure. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If you want to, you can. What confirmations do you look for? Candle closure is a good thing. I'll tell you one thing about trading, right, in general. So today, for example, I'll show the Nvidia chart. Like what I said during the trade, okay? I said, guys, I'm watching Nvidia puts. First candle I saw 142 failure. Second candle I saw 142 failure. The second candle, once I saw that failed, I entered the trade. Now, what did I tell you guys clearly? Guys, I want to see this candle fail this 141.80, and at all costs I want to say, at all costs it wanted to say it under 142. This is what I wanted to happen, okay? And the candle did that. That's why I got in the trade, all right? Now, a lot of people, what they do is, they want to see something happen, and it won't happen, but they'll still enter the trade, right? So, moral of the story here is, only enter the trade if market agrees with you. Does that make sense, guys? So if in the second candle, let's say 142 break, I would have been like, 10, I'll take a 10% loss. That's it. Okay? But market proved me right, and I doubled down and I added size and I took it down, meaning that I was right. This is why I say all the time, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen now. All right? The best setups will always play out immediately, almost immediately. Now, Apple, same thing I said. I was bearish when these candles were forming. I said, well, they're gonna pull 205 and then they're gonna rug everyone under. What happened? They pulled it, then they rugged it. Complete inversion move. Okay? So the market proves you right. Always execute that trade. Alright? 9 times out of 10 you'll make money. The one time you won't make money, you'll take a small loss. I'll take my chance all the time like that. Alright? This is the key to successful trading. The market proves you right, take the trade. If it proves you wrong, exit. That's it. Okay? This is the confirmation. The people look for confirmation. Confirmation is not something, you're not going to get some magic sign or like a sign from God saying, oh wow, this is it. Trust the candles, trust the levels. If the levels confirm, and if you know a lot of other things like tape trading, if you can clearly see it. You're never going to get 100% certainty. You're going to get maybe 80% certainty, but that's good odds. Okay, so if you take 10 trades, you'll win 8 times and lose 2 times. And the 8 times that you win, if 4 or 5 become big winners and a few others become like cash flow trades, the small losses are negligible. Losing is not bad. If you take a lot of trades, you will lose. Right, today I took like a few two one or two scratch losses on SPY, right? But I shorted Tesla towards that 355 area. So you can make money, right? You just have to take your shots. Okay. Uh, what is your biggest loss and why? I got squeezed on. I've got squeezed a few times, Ryan. I've taken like 60K hits before and whatnot, but that's when I was trading like insane size. Couple of questions. How do you gauge how much size you'll put on an option? I mean, size is relative to risk. Again, I covered this last time also, right? I want to know how much I lose if I'm wrong. So in this case, today Nvidia's trade 142 was my risk. So if I'm wrong, I would have lost maybe 5 to 6%. Okay. So what is 5 to 6% for you? All right, size accordingly. Okay. I can't tell you what my size is. Honestly, I would be fine even losing 20% because my risk is different than yours. Okay. So you size accordingly. 5 to 6% is almost impossible. Maybe you have like 10 12% risk. Okay. Now I am surgical with my trades at the open. Not a lot of people can trade like that, and you may not be able to trade like that yourself. Okay. So I can read price action and I'll be like, I will sell if this breaks above. But I will guarantee you, many of you, even when I sell, you guys will still hold on to trades because you don't want to take a red trade. Okay. I if I this break, if it proves me wrong, I'll take a 10% loss. Okay, I'm fine. That's it. I will try again if it reclaims the level. Otherwise, I'm done. Okay. It needs to be black and white. If you keep holding and hoping, then your risk will be different. Okay. Respect your stops. That's the most important thing. Have stops, respect them, and then define your risk accordingly and sizing accordingly. How do you know you were going to do trading for a living? When? I mean, for like a couple of years of consistency. When I started making my full-time jobs yearly income monthly, that's when I knew that maybe I have this in me to do it. But don't quit your job in the beginning. Definitely have your job, have cash flow, focus on trading, build your craft. I will say this: a lot of people can make money seasonally. All right, and markets hot, everyone be like, this that, like, that this challenge, that challenge. The thing is, like, the entire market sold off this year, and then everything gapped up, everything was a literal trend. If you bought the dip, anyone could have made money. That's not It's not, there's no skill in that. There's no skill in that. So, like, but the skill is really earned when markets choppy last few days. Did you come out green on the market? Were you able to catch a trade like this on Nvidia? That determines skill. Buying a dip long term is not skill. Okay, just waiting for a correction. Anytime 50% from highs, just buy the dip. Good companies, keep holding. That's it. All right. So if you want to quit your job, gauge your success over a period of time. All right. Trade for like a year or two, and then see if you can consistently turn profitability. Right. Not just turning green, but actually making a living income consistently. Uh, Sidebar, you also need, like, obviously emergency savings and whatnot. Once you have all that boxes checked, then you can do it. Um, all right. Market structure. I mean, I usually use the trend, man. Whenever a trend breaks, if you guys remember who was in the chat yesterday, um, like when I said if you're in the chat, you guys saw me take a spy shot yesterday, right? This is where I shot at spy. Okay. Now you guys tell me. So this was spy morning trade. I took a shot here. This candle right here. So we tried to break above this and then started selling. I immediately got filled. And then this thing flipped, and then we held this 592. This is 592. We flushed it, liquidity reclaim 592. We sold runners right here. Okay, and then what happened? We popped above and started rejecting again off of this 594. They tried to break trend again. This is why I was still not convinced. Okay, yesterday, and then they still held it. They still held this 593 again, and the moment they held it, they slowly started building up. The moment they broke 595, that's when they started accelerating the position. Right. This is when we had that bigger moves on not only this name but many other names on under the SPY umbrella. And then we popped right back here. Now you can see these candles here, right? These are not inspiring bullish confidence. This is not how a squeeze looks like. Okay, this is not how a squeeze looks like. This was always going to be a like a stairs up, elevator down scenario. So this is where I was saying SPY looks heavy. Go back yesterday and read the chart, and so the moment we lost this area here, right? So this is the first 8 EMA test, 13 EMA test, then we popped up again. The second time we lost 8 EMA, I shorted. Okay, I shorted here with a 50-cent stop here. I actually had good size on that trade. I think I had like 6K or something, 5K or 6K or something on 0 DTEs yesterday. My average was 65 cents and these contracts ran to like 140 or something. I had like 70 contracts. And then 70 or 80, I don't remember. And then we dropped, right? First level broke, second level we had another pop here, and then 596. This is the retest of the structure again. You can see the EMS flipping here, and after that we dropped. This was that 595 area. We actually flushed 595 and held, and then we popped same back 596.50. Now I'm going to go to today's action here. You guys can see this 596.50, 597. After hours we gapped up, and look at what happened here. This is the pre-market action. We gapped up again, 598. This is that SPX ES 6000 level. We gapped back down, same level here, right? Same level. Pre-market low, pop back up again, dropped, pop up again. Today was a very shitty day. Look at this. We managed to make it work, but it was a shitty day. Calls, puts, calls, puts, and then end of day they rugged it. Look at this. So if this thing gapped up again, that's a potential for a squeeze. But the fact that they gapped down. Now tomorrow, if for a squeeze potential, they have to open above this 597.50, 598. And then maybe there's a squeeze opportunity. But if they rug this and open under 594 tomorrow at pre-market, then short setups looks crazy. Okay, so that's how you need to see. Look at this SPY. We're ranging, we're not squeezing yet, but there is squeeze potential. If we can clear 598.50, there's squeeze potential. Right now we're already fading pre-market. Thanks, Kiwan. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining. We are right at time. Hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. Again, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and we'll do this again next Tuesday. And this Friday, I'll do a pre-market webinar also. So Friday pre-market, I'll see you live again. Okay? See you guys later. Have a good night.